Hello, everyone, and welcome back to day number 4, the final day championship Wednesday here for the PELC promos. My name's Esquire, your commentator here for the Stage 2 event. We're at the end of it all. The top 9 teams after today will move on to the first phase of PEL Contenders in the year 2020. The new year holds a lot of great things, especially for the top 9 teams that can make it through here. It's going to be a fight as we do see the leaderboards right in front of you. The teams focused down here on the bottom half of the leaderboards are where our eyes are really going to be. Looking around maybe CrazyCrew and then dropping down to kind of Dose Pilots from 15th and 16th place. It's going to take a lot. It's going to take a lot, and really the first game is going to decide whether or not Royalty and Boris can make a big play to try to get into those top 9 positions. From there up, though, up until placement position number 9, things are fairly close, at least close enough for us to consider them very hotly contested positions. Your point totals from the tournament, guys, if you've been watching throughout the week, if you've been watching throughout the year for PUBG competitive esports, this is going to be your standard rule set. 10 points for a first place finish. It trickles down to 8th place with 1 point. And then from there on, 0 points going to be rewarded for 9th through 16th. 1 point per kill, and a team that's been racking up a lot of points from those kills are going to be the members of Fight Club. 84 kills so far here in 3 days of play, entering into the 4th day. Absolutely insane. They lead the kill count in the lobby by 14. They were tied yesterday going into the matches with the ADR farmers, and it was interesting for us to see their aggression play out throughout the day and how they ended up fighting with one another fairly frequently throughout the day as well. It definitely wasn't intended, but it certainly ended up happening, and it was a great spectacle nonetheless. I believe we saw a pretty epic 1v1 in between ADR farmers and Fight Club to end out a game as well. Here's your schedule for the final day of gameplay. Matches 13 through 16 going to be played out starting right now. The first match will be on Sanhok. I believe, guys, I'm not going to hold my breath. I'm not going to hold my tongue here. I'm going to say it. I believe that we are going with a double helping of Erangel today. I said it yesterday. I was wrong. Maybe today we'll be able to find it. But yes, Sanhok, Miramar, and a mix of Erangel is how we are going to be going throughout today's games. You know the schedule. You know how fast we like to get into those next games. So make sure that your breaks are quick, because ours are definitely going to be. In game number 1, we find ourselves soaring over the skies. All of our players have been loaded into the cargo hold and will now be left to their own devices, their own strategies and implementations throughout this tournament, VOD review, etc., to hopefully carry them on to a chicken dinner. Good point totals is what we're looking to see out of a few squads here. Starting off the day already, a few other teams at the top of the leaderboards will be just trying to maintain those positions. Bragging rights definitely going to be going over to whoever can claim first place. As it stands, it's going to be a tall task. Fight Club dominantly hold on to the leaderboards. First place position, 136 points, a 36-point lead over second and third place, respectively. Lane path coming out of the northern side of Sanhok will be favored over towards the western side of the map, which, again, it's not going to be putting too much pressure on these squads to be able to find those loot locations, those primary static drops. But in terms of this first phase, that's really where things are going to get a bit shifty. Things seem to be fairly the same. No real shifts off of the strategy we've seen played out over the last few days. We've got the members of Level heading up the Painan Crossroads split. And the first phase has popped. It's going to be centered a little bit southeast of the boot camp area of the map, a very centralized circle for these teams to have to work off of. And so really, no obstacles are going to be put in front of these teams in terms of a polarized shift of that phase 1 circle. Preachers going to be holding on here in Camp Alpha, all alone and uncontested for the time being. The members of the Tony team currently sitting in 7th place position, 78 points to their name, but will be holding on to that static drop of the Paradise Resort. not too much of a shift is going to have to come out of this team, but they do have an early opportunity based off of the loot density here in Paradise, as well as their position on the northern side of the circle to make a quick rotation. Hakkapeliittas, a team that sits on the cusp of qualification, 10th place position over in the ruins area of the map, will be currently sitting with 58 points. That puts them 3 points outside of qualification right now as it stands. CrazyCrew going to be sitting in 9th place. Pynon, one of the, as we've talked about over the last few days of gameplay, one of the best drop spots on Sanhok, based off of its position on the map, based off of the opportunity you have to quickly shift down to the southwest island if you get one of those nasty phase 1 circles, or even up to the northwest. A member of Level has found themselves mixed up against one of our players from the first place team so far. ZorF has had an incredible performance here in stage number 2, but this is going to be the static drop of this member of Level. It's a very similar drop to what we see FaZe Clan do in the PEL, doing that 3-1 Pynon Crossroads split. And if you watch that, this is pretty much Fight Club going to be acting as Navi. ZorF pushes over, going to be investigating this area. I think Fight Club absolutely know that there is going to be at least an enemy presence close. Do they know it's as pushed up into the crossroads as it currently stands? Probably not. This is the first time that Level has actually shifted one member all the way up here to the crossroads. They've gotten close. They're now going to be fully committing. I think Level definitely feels at least some pressure in the area, and will be trying to scout out the building that ZorF has rolled into. Not getting any lines of sight just now, but if he's playing a very significant Overwatch position on the high ground, just down to the south, from where this possible engagement could be setting up. ZorF going to be taking the first shot of the fight here, spotting out one of the members of Level. I believe Moonlight through the door. Sees him again with the quick click. Will be, unfortunately, not able to land a shot. A pre-fire goes through the door. Doesn't find a connection either, but a crate will be spotted on the roadside just off towards the west. And could put a little bit more importance or reward onto whoever wins this engagement. I definitely don't believe the members of Fight Club will push out into the open down the roadside over into the direction of Level to get it, but I also don't think that Level's got a good opportunity to push out onto the road either. Over here in Camp Charlie, it's the members of Boris who currently sit in 15th place position. They're a squad that we talked about, at least in the brief pregame, that really needs to see something big here in this match. 4 matches it's a good bit of games to work with, but it's not a significant amount. So you have to make absolute use of every game left, because essentially you've already given away your bogey games, those games that we kind of throw out and don't think about in the first 3 days of play. Level has reunited as a 4-stack inside of the crossroad position. 2 going to be split off across the road from one another. A powerful 2-2 split, however. Both squads now have the support of all 4 members, and from the north, the Istanbul Wildcats will also be looming. Dose Pilots, a lot of fans for the Dose Pilots in chat. They currently sit in 14th place position. 37 points is what they've been able to accumulate right now. As that stands, they're about 24 points off from that 9th place position. We saw yesterday, that's one good game. One good game. Fight Club, I believe it was, that picked up both a 14 and a 16 kill chicken dinner. 24 and 26 points respectively. Milta Power going to be cruising on here, making a slight readjustment as the blue zone continues to work its way in towards phase number 1's edges. Istanbul Wildcats. Apocalypse is able to find a nice tag down with the QBU on to Sabin of the Tony team. Looks like he's kind of spread off from his team, at least slightly. The whole squad of the Tony team was in a bit of a line trying to work their way along this ridge, and will be capitalized because of it. The open positions are going to be spotted by 2 different squads. The Intruders now going to be putting some shots over towards Blacklit and Feverino, who's trying to stick the res, and will likely have a good opportunity here given the concealment that has now been set up. There we go. That should be better for you guys. HaKoHe checking in with this squad over here in a 3-1, a road split position down to the southwest currently here on Sanhok. Going to be holding on, at least for the meantime, waiting for that readjustment in phase number 2. The phase 2 shift inside of Sanhok is not a drastic shift. Okay, it's going to be one of the larger phase 2 circles based off of the phase 1 circle size. And so it doesn't eliminate too much. It's not going to be too damning for some squads that found themselves on the edges. Like we see now, a few squads having to make slight readjustments. Royalty off of Paradise Resort, Brute Force off of the Far West. But not too bad, all things considered. Melted Power going to be knocked down. Yuang already suffering a fairly early game knock here. We'll be playing into the attrition, but likely with the smoke concealment coming out, the protection from the ADR farmers has been set up, and they'll probably be able to get that res. Hakkapeliittas makes the rotation across the river. We'll be holding on here and is in a deadly position to capitalize on top of the members of Brute Force who still need to push over. This is one of the tough areas of the map. A lot of bottlenecks going to be presented here in Melted Power. Not going to be able to get that res. They were trying to do so, but the push comes in from the ADR farmers, and Flamyy is able to find a double onto both Yuang and guess who? Down goes half of the members of Melted Power in a pretty swift fashion coming out from ADR. That was a very good knock that came out onto Yuang. As soon as that happened, they kept 2 back on the hillside and sent Flamyy and his teammate out to push the hill, get the flank, and close out what they had started. A good pickup of 2 kills in the pocket will not be a bad way to start out this match. Phase 2's blue zone going to be pushing in right now. 2 minutes on the clock for these teams to at least shore up those positions or make those rotations. Preacher's not going to be letting Hakkapeliittas rather have any easy rotation. We'll be finding Patrick, and with the Molotov, burn baby burn, out goes one of the members of this squad. Hakkapeliittas now going to be working with 3 as they were in a position to gatekeep on top of the members of Brute Force. We saw it just a few seconds ago, but not able to capitalize just yet. However, in the kill feed, Pikzen proves us wrong. QBU in full effect. Headshot comes out. Brute Force is going to be losing one. Hawk and Mackenzie going to be pushing up on the opposite side of the compound. Able to get a spray down inside of the window, but not able to find the flush just yet. There it is. The return comes out. Pikzen able to find another. 2 alive for Hakkapeliittas. Martin and Pikzen making the last stand here for this team. They push out wide into the open from the left side of the rock. Mackenzie is able to find a pretty significant connection. However, the spray down does come back. Pikzen going to be returned upon, and from a different angle, he needs to look out of the window, I believe, behind him as he's getting tagged down. HaKoHe coming in for the third party. Nade's going to be flying. Royalty coming off of that northern position. We'll be finding another member of Melted Power. An unfortunate set of circumstances. Excuse me, actually. I need to make a correction on that. We're calling them a rewop. Rewop. Not Melted Power anymore. So we will make that adjustment moving forward. Boom. Caught it. Mackenzie is still going to be alive here. AmerouuS was able to be rezzed. HalloSenpai still going to be alive as well. So they've only lost 1 player in this engagement, but they've yet to transition the other 2 players of that Brute Force squad across this river. Still going to be a significant choke point where they've got to try to find at least something else here to open up that opportunity for them, unless we see a hard shift over to the west, which is fairly unlikely. It could happen, but it's not going to. A slight nudge up here towards the north off of our phase 2 central point will be a beautiful circle for the Istanbul Wildcats to hold on to. As far as Fight Club and level, nothing has really progressed as far as that engagement goes. These 2 teams have really felt at least comfortable enough to hold on to that crossroad position in the respective buildings that both teams have been able to lock down. Rewop going to be wiped out of the game here. Magebane spotted out Feberino with the M416 headshot spray down for the Tony team. Is able to find the first squad elimination of the game. Out in 16th place, go Rewop. 15 teams going to be remaining here just shy of the 12-minute mark, and shots continue to fly across the jungle. Not just 1, not just 2, but 3 teams going to be actively engaged here. Mark that 4 and 5 as the intruders roll up onto the backsides of Royalty. Infection gets dropped down almost immediately. Suppy trying to stay alive, but is going to be knocked as well. And only 1 trade back onto the members of Intruders will be leaving a 3v2 advantage in favor of this squad in red. Rekorder going to be looking back up the hillside with the M16. Tries to find a few connections. Is going to be able to find 1. 36 damage to be applied onto Royalty, but it's not enough to send These royalty members back behind cover. They're going to continue to aggress up on top of this as much as possible, but the third party comes in. ADR farmers from a distance. M24 shot from Triquo is able to find a knockdown and a flush. Royalty now has a lot to worry about as this pressure continues to mount down from the south. Jesse going to be holding on to the blue zone position right now. Not out of it yet. Will be taking a slight takedown of damage, but he has the opportunity, at least at the 13-minute mark of the match, here in this phase 3 circle, to hold back a little bit. Boosts are rolling. Intruders are going to be pushing up, not able to spot him from the blue zone. So Jesse might have been able to escape out of this. The question becomes, does Jesse now hunt the intruders and try to stack up a few more points before going out? Or do they try to play the long game, try to play for placement as a solo player on Sanhok? That's something that we know is incredibly difficult. AmerouuS of Brute Force is still trying to transition from the west to east across this river, being held out by multiple different squads now. Hakkapeliittas is not going to be an issue anymore, but it's going to be HaKoHe that sits on the eastern side of this entry. HaKoHe, VladKot going to be able to find the M416 shots on top of AmerouuS. That's across the river, so another member of Brute Force not able to make that cross inside of the blue zone. Will likely be going out of the game, leaving McKenzie as a solo player just off the position down to the south of where the preachers sit. Next shift comes in. It's going to be a shift down here towards the southwest, which alleviates some of the pressure of McKenzie to make immediate movements. However, going to be pinched in between two different squads. Is going to be spotted out and now going to be heard as they take the spray down up the hillside to try to find the connections. Tagged down to 34% HP, is not going to be able to continue on further in this game as they are tagged down. The preachers come in major with the AKM spray, wipes out our second squad to exit out of match number 1 of the final day of the PELC promos. Boris over here have been fairly quiet throughout the match, but have been able to keep all 4 members alive as they creep into the southern side of phase number 4 with a little bit of time to do so. Laza of the Wildcats going to be popping off. Mkaelovich goes down of the Intruders as they try to make this cross from north to south. Are going to be significantly held off by the Wildcats, who are playing a gatekeeping position on the northern side of this phase 4 shift. You can see just how open the terrain is that the Intruders have to work through, and it is not going to be easy. Wouldn't be surprised to see the Intruders suffering more casualties in the coming seconds. ADR farmers are going to be faced off against another engagement. Trades back and forth between them and the Tony team will be putting them ahead, at least for right now. There's the final kill. Comes out. ADR farmers not going to be losing any members. Will be having ample time to pick their fallen teammate back up and remain as a 4-stack as they continue to display that successful aggressiveness that we've been talking about over the last few days. Truly, I believe, at least a skilled squad in that style of gameplay. CrazyCrew going to be taking some shots, also suffering a knockdown onto Vital as Algae is able to find Kaz for the members of Stellar. I believe Kaz might be another sub coming in for the Stellar squad. We've seen a bit of a different roster from them over the last few days. John Boy coming in yesterday, but still going to be having the consistent 3. I believe it's going to be Beamy, Moleman, and Celis. Shots come out up the hillside. STaravillo was able to find the spray down on the Dose pilots. Down goes one, down goes another. Looking to find the third. And isn't in a good position to do so. But coming out of the blue zone might be forgotten about. STaravillo needs to watch their back. Needs to continue to rotate. But also the ADR farmers are presenting a massive flank. A massive third party from this position on the eastern side of the previous circle. Blue zone continues to work its way in. And CrazyCrew continues to be eliminated one by one by the members of ADR farmers. Flamyy goes down once again. They're going to have to pick the res up. Myca is there to do so immediately with now 9 teams remaining. Stellar is going to be able to find a few shots. Beamy with a QBU tags down Myca. We saw just how low Myca was trying to get the res onto Flamyy. And that's going to be 2 down, possibly 2 going out here for the ADR farmers. Anonymous tagged down Beamy. with another set of successful shots coming out of that QBU, we'll be putting significant pressure and damage onto this ADR squad. There it is, Moleman. Beautiful shots coming out right there with the AKM spray. And with a few more shots, the Istanbul Wildcats outgo the entirety of the ADR Farmers. Another squad exiting out of the match here, securing placement points for our top 8 teams left in the lobby, just shy of the 20-minute mark. Who's anonymous? He's anonymous, of course. He is anonymous. Hakkapeliittas, Istanbul Wildcats, now going to be forced into this engagement with Stellar. These were the two teams that had the members of the ADR Farmers pinched in between them. Big Groza spray going to be coming out for BSD. An impact player for this Wildcat squad will be finding 2 in the process. Have to worry about 1 more as another fight breaks out in the bottom right-hand corner of your screen. Royalty will be eliminated out of the match. Jesse, that solo player, has been spotted. It's legendary of the Preachers that's able to find that kill. Moleman, I believe the only player going to be left alive on their feet right now for Stellar, has 2 of his teammates knocked, Celis and Beamy. And that's going to be a confirmation on Celis, confirming it's just going to be Moleman left alive here for Stellar. This is a position that Stellar has found themselves in previous games, having to survive, having to push as far as possible with 1 player up. And so given that situation and given Moleman's veteranship in the PUBG competitive scene, I'd be surprised if we didn't see something big come out from that guy. Over here on the Crossroads, these two teams, Level as well as Fight Club, have been able to sit very comfortably in the Crossroads position. It now sits on the southeastern side of the zone, shifted out by this Phase 6 circles. These teams have been here for about 15 minutes. Will finally have to move, and with that, Fight Club finds themselves in the position to have to do so a little bit more dangerously than their team they rival across the street. Level going to be looking off in the distance. Fight Club starting to prep the road with a smoke concealment. Yeah, so there's no delay. Just to let you guys know, there's no delay on the feed that I am giving you. The delay is put from StarLadder production. So the feed that I get is already delayed. And so I don't have to use the delay so that I can interact with chat, etc., etc. Just to clear that up for you guys, there is a competitive delay for competitive integrity, as always. As always. HaKoHe going to be over here putting out some shots, trying to level some pressure onto the squad of Level, who has started to maneuver their way off of this far southeastern position after dealing with the members of Fight Club and pushing off the Crossroads. They now find themselves having to at least handle a few other teams. Yeah, you guys are very welcome, and feel free, if you guys ever have any questions, throw them out in chat. I will answer them as I can and as I see them. Also, make sure to throw out those emotes, guys. If you are fans of some of the teams or some of the players here in this game, surely you are if you're here watching, make sure to throw that support in chat. The players go back, they watch the VODs, and they love to see it. 4 teams going to be remaining here in the final minutes of our first match of the day, our final Sanhok match of the PELC promos. And it's going to be HaKoHe still having a pretty commanding hold down here to the south as they fight erupts between the Istanbul Wildcats and Preachers up here to the northwest. Rez coming out, but over here the Wildcats are prepping a massive onslaught on top of the Preachers. Also suffering, though, 2 knocks will be putting them at a severe disadvantage at this stage of the game. Istanbul Wildcats now going to be left with 1 member alive. It was that insurance policy, Hakkapeliittas, who pushed into the center of the circle to play off a position. A good thing he did so, because he will no longer have any teammates to help him throughout the remainder of this game. 9 teams, guys, get promoted at the end of today. So really, you're going to be looking around the I'd say around the 6th through 14th position on the leaderboards for that movement. Obviously, things are going to close out, become a little bit more impossible after this match is done, but it still is going to be popping off here. Phase number 8 is in full effect, 35 seconds. As the blue zone closes out, Hakkapeliittas going to be sharing a not so comfortable position in the middle of the circle, but the Preachers are going to be going down and out. HaKoHe swarms around the western side of the blue zone and clears out that flank with the numbers heavily in their favor. It's a 3v1 scenario if they're able to get spike back up. Even if they're not able to, it will be a 2v1, not a confirmed chicken dinner, especially going up against Wildcats Hakkapeliittas. It's a 2v1. I'm gonna say it's definitely within the realm of severe possibilities here for Hakkapeliittas. He's one of the strongest players in this lobby based on the performance here in phase. Oh, there it is. Already able to find the first knock onto VladKot. He had the other member of HaKoHe lazy, very low, about like maybe 3% HP behind the rock. Knows exactly where he is. Level 3 helmet, gonna be spotting him down. And crazy. There it is. Lazy is able to find the spray down. A 4-kill chicken dinner for HaKoHe. A massive effort coming out from Hakkapeliittas, not just to secure that position in the final few moments of the game, but also trying to take that 1v2. Man, that was close. That was incredibly close. Have to give a nice try over to the Istanbul Wildcats. A good game played out altogether, though. HaKoHe taking away 14 points from that match will be good for them, as it likely, at least more so, confirms their position within the top 9. It was a pretty action-packed game all around. Some interesting positions held from teams after those initial drops were had. The rotations were really where things got pretty crazy. Got pretty crazy here inside of this game. Brute Force, I think, really felt the hurt coming off of one of those far western positions. They were one of the only teams to have to make that far west to east rotation. And boy, did they pretty much put on a textbook example of why it could be so difficult here on Sanhok. So guys, we've got 3 more games coming up here on the day. The final 3 games of stage number 2. After these replays, we'll take a look at the leaderboards from this specific match. We'll take a look at some of the individual stats and then go into the total leaderboards after this game has been included. And we'll get a better idea of what some of these teams are going to have to put together. I mean, realistically, we've only seen massive 20-point plus games from a few teams. I don't think it's going to be possible or realistic to expect that capability of everyone here in the lobby as much as we would like it to be so. We've got to be realistic about what some of these squads are going to be able to do. HaKoHe continued to putting on an example here in this match of, I don't think the 4 kills, and we're going to look at the stats. I don't think the 4 kills are really indicative of how much engagement and how much, adversity they had to work through. That game was not easy for the members of HaKoHe. That southern portion of the circle for about the mid to late game was fairly active and fairly congested. A big spray down from Lazy right there to be able to find that victory is what brings them into the massive double-digit points. Here are your scores, though. Coming out of match number 13 alone, 1 squad walks away with 0 points, and that's pretty significant. It's going to be Rewap. Man, how do I say the last part? Altham? Do they want me to say the last part is the question as well. But Rewap will be our 1 team with 0 points. A lot of teams with 1 and 2 points as well. It's good. Points are better than no points, but 1 and 2 points are not something you want to make a habit out of. We'll get into the top 8 teams here from game number 13 of stage 2 and get a better idea as to what these squads were able to put up. A lot of teams had massive amount of kills, as you currently see. ADR farmers, 0 placement points, 10 points from kills. I mean, pretty much the status quo for this squad. Very aggressive, but also very successful at that strategy. Istanbul Wildcats, obviously major point takedown. They had a massive set of kills, and the second place finish does propel them, at least in points, over the likes of HaKoHe. Damage leaders, kill leaders, here they are. Major for the Preachers, coming up with over 800 damage from this match, as well as 8 kills, a massive amount of kills. One of the top kills I believe that we've seen here throughout stage number 2. Head-to-head, it's only fitting that we put HaKoHe versus the Istanbul Wildcats first and second place, respectively, from this match. Big damage, and there it is. See, that was the stat I was talking about. 1,300 damage for HaKoHe, but only 4 kills. So they were incredibly impactful inside of that match. They had to work their way through a lot of obstacles to get to where they were and claim that chicken dinner. But had they capitalized on some of those kills, it'd be even more points in the pocket. Leaderboards after game number 1 of the day, game number 13 of stage number 2. Here for the PLC promos and Fight Club. Still going to be reigning supreme in that first place position, 143 points. Istanbul Wildcats starting to close the gap, but it's still being fairly well maintained in second place position. ADR Farmers third, HaKoHe in fourth. Let's look, though, at 9th through 16 and see how things are shaping up. A 2-point gap currently sit between the CrazyCrew members and Preachers. CrazyCrew has been displaced out of 9th place position. Hakkapeliittas only going to be 6 points behind that. It starts to drop off a little bit once we get to level, and then significantly so as we get to 14th and below. But it's still going to be possible for these squads to come up with a massive performance. All it will take is one big chicken dinner and then a little bit of consistency to close out the day for some of these squads. 3 more matches on the day. Here's your schedule, guys. A quick break. Don't go anywhere. We're likely going to be starting faster than the time schedule you see on your screen.